Do you remember the last song you listened to? When was that? Last night? And how long did it last? I'll bet this is the last thing you thought I'd ask you. Well, at last, we're going to get this English lesson off the ground.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. This is Happy English Podcast, episode 829. How we use last. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Happy English Podcast. I'm your English teacher, Michael, and I'm glad you're here. For today's podcast English lesson, we're going to talk about a really small word that's used in a lot of big ways. Last. This word pops up all the time in English, and it's not just for talking about the final thing. There's actually a handful of common ways to use last, and today we're going to explore 5 of them with natural examples and stories as we usually do here. Let's start with the most common use, last as an adjective. You probably already know this one. We use last to mean the final one in a group or in a sequence. Like, even though I worked late, I was able to catch the last bus home. And you know what? Here in Japan, the public transportation system is great. But unlike New York, the last train is around midnight. Miss that, and good luck getting back home. Here's one more. At the wedding, they played the last dance by 10:30, and then everyone went home. So, anytime you want to talk about the final something, a meeting, a class, a cookie, last is your word. All right, now here's the next one. We also use last to talk about time, specifically a time in the past. You know, like last week, last night, or last summer. We use last followed by a time word to talk about when something happened. Last followed by a time word means the one before now. Like, I had dinner with my sister last Sunday, or I haven't seen Steve since last April. Here's another example. Even though I bought that cologne at last year, there's still some left in the bottle. That stuff lasts forever. Hey, and speaking of lasting, here comes our third usage. Did you catch it? Yup. We use last as a verb. When we say something lasts, we mean it continues or exists for a certain period of time. Like, the CEO's speech lasted for almost 2 hours. Everyone was falling asleep. And you know what? A big jar of mayo doesn't last long in my house. We use it on everything. Hey, by the way, did you catch my pronunciation of mayo? You know, mayonnaise? It's mayo. Like the month of May. Last month. Mayo. Mayo. Okay, one more. My friend just bought a new car and asked me, how long does a tank of gas last in your SUV? And I said, not long enough. Now, here's a fun one you might hear in movies or when someone's super relieved. At last! That's a phrase we use to mean finally, usually after waiting a long time. Like, Mick lost his job 2 years ago, but at last he finally found something new. And you know what? I've been searching for a good coffee shop in this neighborhood, and at last I found one that makes really good coffee. Yeah. At last, we can move on to the last one. And this one's really useful. We often say that someone or something is the last person or the last thing we expected. It means we're really surprised. Like when one of my buddies dragged me to a football game. We met up with another friend who, when he saw me, said, "Wow, you're the last person I expected to see here. What a surprise." Believe me, I was surprised too. And then, last weekend, my cousin was trying to talk to me about her investment strategies. She's the last one who should be giving advice about money. She's always broke. So, what's the last thing you remember learning in English? Hopefully it was fun, and hopefully this will stick with you too. By the way, the best way to remember English like this, and any other word or phrase in English, is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. And did you know you can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group? There, you can make new friends. Join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, you'll just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 829. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.